coming off winning the 10.5 contingency from 034, 10.40 at 700 foot DA, and this morning we're at about 100, maybe when we get to the spot, 200, 300. Got the A6 in race trim with my Hoosier still, Maggie. So with the drop in DA again, we've been having success by dropping the pulley ratio, increasing the supercharger pulley. So we're at on the 75mm Maggie pulley now. We're on a 72mm Griptec for the 7.4 runs. Let's go to Mexico and see what we can make happen at even lower DA. What I'm curious is we're seeing about -2, about -6. You'll see it when the draggy video. I don't know what it'll be at the spot. I'm curious how the Hoosiers will hook up. It seemed to hook up pretty well. I mean, 2.7 0 to 60. 2.73 0 to 60 at 0 degrees. So I don't know, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. We'll make an evaluation about it. And yeah, see if I can't beat the 7.2, 60 to 130, and 10.40. That's the best right now. 10.40 at 132. So let's head to Mexico. All right, so it's a couple days later now. The thing, so the DA wasn't lower. It was just that 600, 700 foot still. But 310.4s. The one video kind of forgot to hit the button. My bad. But 310.4s. And so moving down to the number 4 meth nozzle from the number 6, kind of wasn't the play, but it gave me some good data. So right at the end of the run, I could see in the log the high pressure fuel pump was getting maxed out, so it wasn't getting enough fuel with the extra meth. So I tweaked the settings on the controller as well with the number 4. Well, that wasn't totally the right move, so I'm seeing that number 6 is like pretty ideal for 600, 700 foot. Now if the DA drops lower than that, which I'm hoping it does, a number 4 is definitely not gonna be the right nozzle choice. And I'm still getting like this lull when the meth kicks on. It's kind of too much down low, and because these superchargers, they build boost so fast, it's hard to, the boost that I'm making on the launch compared to like getting up in the higher RPM, like it's such a small narrow band. So I need to go down in nozzle size. This wasn't an issue when I was running a 1 and a 2 and I think a 3 as well previous years. So I'm gonna go down into that. But you're like, hey Josh, what you said 4 is not enough and D is gonna get lower. Great. What's gonna happen is today we're actually gonna redo some of my meth system, and with the snow controller it allows a power boost nozzle option. So at another set point of boost, I can have a secondary nozzle, secondary solenoid kick on to spray more meth. So what I'm thinking is I've got a whole library of nozzles. I'm looking at them right now. So I'm going to put a smaller nozzle in as my primary, maybe a 1, 2, or 3. I'm not sure yet. And then I've got that snow meth plate. Pull it up right here. This guy. And so you can see I've got 2 spots for nozzles. So I'm going to run 2 nozzles off of that, off of 1 solenoid. I'm going to put the solenoid as close as I can with a little Y fitting to each of those, and run kind of if you add up all the nozzles, they might add up to a 6 or a 7, and that should provide me with enough fuel, but it should be a softer hit when the meth starts spraying. And I should have better control over the system and have just more dialed in. Something I planned on doing last year, never got to it. Well, necessity drives a lot of things. It's driving this today. So that's what we're gonna get to doing. All right, so we got the meth done. So a little bit different than what we had planned. The way I'd showed you the meth plate, it had the 2 nozzles in it. And just with the tight real estate we're working with, just using the 1. So I'll show you here. All right, so I teed it here before it came to the primary solenoid, ran it underneath, and the secondary solenoid, so I'll still have good control. I don't run check valves, not a fan. This length is, 5 inches or so. It's definitely not like the primary where I've got the solenoid right off the nozzle, which is really ideal. Just tight real estate and poor planning, I guess, on my behalf. We could have ran the solenoid back here right off the nozzle holder. I just didn't have all the right pieces. Kind of wanted to get it done in a short amount of time here with the DA coming up. So, okay, so we're running the 2 nozzles then. So I went for those last 3 10-4 runs. I had a number 4 in the intake on my primary. So now I've got a number 3 there and a number 3 on the meth plate. Hoping to split that low to the number 6. And we'll see what she does. Okay, so yesterday didn't go quite as planned. I had a hiccup there. Not sure, I think we got it fixed. I also wrapped the meth lines in some fuel line insulation. Methanol boils at 60 degrees Celsius or 140 Fahrenheit. So thinking under the hood temps might get pretty warm. I don't want the methanol to vaporize in the line. Just a little thing, like then the methanol, when I want it, it's not gonna be spraying. It's gonna take a little bit, build that pressure back up. So small things. Yeah, still on the 72 mil pulley. Forecast is showing 600 foot. Again, we'll see what it is when we get out there. And yeah, I did make some nozzle changes. I'm gonna run a 1 here. Yeah, a 1 in the intake and a 4 at the throttle body plate. We're gonna try that. All right. So yeah, yesterday we got good data with the meth changes, so that was sweet. But so it was 4 runs actually. The second one I boarded right away, because the first 2 actually I had no logs. The logs, it was like the cable was, the computer was saying the cable was disconnected, so that wasn't ideal. That was kind of the whole point, is I wanted to see what fueling looked like with the meth changes. So there's no point in running that one out. So I still did an 11:01 in the quarter, but on the brakes after half, it's moving. It's pretty nuts. But anyways, so today, same thing. We're back. We're still with the meth. But 4 runs later, things get warm. Even though you can cool it down, it's not going to be as spicy of a rip as the first one. So that's what I've consistently seen is my first one. I got my 10.40, cooled it down, did a 10.43. So that's what I'm hoping is first rip today. And we're sitting maybe 700, 600 foot, maybe 600. So trying to get out there and make a pass while the DA is nice. Same configuration, race mode, race trim, Maggie, no intake. I'm on just on the 70 mil pulley today. And yeah, we'll make let's go to Mexico. That's what I'm trying to say. Opening the box, gasket, bolts. Who thinks they know what it is? Drop a comment. In 3, 2, 1. Oh hey, it's another throttle body. That's not the normal harness. And I know why. So what we're looking at is a 95 mil throttle body, but it's done on the 80 mil chassis, if that makes sense. So that circle is a lot bigger, but the gap to the bolt holes is a lot smaller. The blade is ported as well. All right, so winter's kind of here now. DA's around like 0 foot, but it's -5, -6 or so out, so traction wasn't going to be a thing with the drag radials. So I'm on my winters now. Hopefully you can see that, but I am. Drag radials are back up there on the rack. So yeah, I'm hoping, like I showed in the video just now, they're heavier, but maybe they're going to give me better traction than the drag radials, so kind of compensate for that. The DA is gonna do something different too, more fuel demand obviously, and yeah, maybe we'll make more power, maybe we'll cut some faster times. Well, we're gonna go find out. The 95 mil throttle body, I've got that on. I did the testing, a couple pulls. Logs
compared to the 85 mil. What's the deal, right? Well, I threw the 95 on thinking like, hey, sweet, I picked up with the 85, maybe I pick up with the 95, bolts up the same. My friend over at Performance Builds, he 3D printed me a adapter. Not even worried about that, because he ran our 3D printed adapter of our throttle body plates for a year in Canadian winter, summer, year round, long drive, short drives. It was still flawless. So before we even made the plates. So yeah, 95 mils on. I've got straight 4-inch intake now. It doesn't neck down to the 3.5 inch. That's kind of cool, but still there was no, it's working. It's not necessarily better than the 85. Excuse me. I don't have it port matched, right? Like it's adapter down to still that 80, I think maybe 81 mil hole. I have to check that on the Maggie from the 95 mil throttle body down. So it's not like it's really breathing better that I can see from the logs. And I haven't done a 1/4 mile pass yet with this to test it. I've just done a couple pulls in the one gear. The logs by comparison, the 85 mil was actually at 4,000 foot DA. This was at like 1,100 or so. It's not direct comparison, so I'm not going to say definitively. But I just wanted to try it out. Yeah, tires, 95 mil. Oh yeah, he printed it with a meth bung hole in the back of the plate as well. So that was pretty sweet. So I've still got the 2-stage snow meth injection going on. A 1 in the intake and a 4 on the throttle body adapter. I got the 72 mil pulley on. And yeah, so we're gonna go see what happens. Actually, hold on. Just forgot. I think we're missing the best part of all of this. The biggest modification. And I'm kind of... Anyways, I can't believe I forgot it. Heyo! That's easily the 20 horsepower that I've been missing. Getting those 034 stickers on the Maggie, that'll do it. You know it, I know it. So let's go see what cold Mexico can do. So actually, I forgot to mention, those last runs that I did, they were good, but I was seeing the boost kind of taper off after each gear, closer to red line, so I was suspecting the belts failed. Not failed, but I like them tight. They wear out a little faster than part of the price to pay for the game. So I've got a new Continental belt on. The last one was a Gates, same size. Yeah, and actually I just was looking at the pulley and I had the 70 mil on instead. So with that lower DA, I'm gonna stick with that 72. 72's on now. Yeah, now let's go. Okay, trying 2800 RPM again. Short shifted into third. That's funny. I've had that. Okay, so both of those runs, even though traction control is turned off, I'm getting traction control intervention. The ground is basically too cold. That's kind of how it is. So looking at the logs right now, yeah, that's kind of it. I'm getting, the last one I got wobbles up at fourth, close to the top of fourth gear, and that's not really where I want to be. I don't want to get a traction control intervention on the street here. That's just not like that. So I think that's it. I don't think it would be reasonable or safe or otherwise like beneficial to just keep going. What is neat I can tell you some things right now while I got you on here, looking at the log. My meth is doing a great job. It's totally, the second stage when it kicks in is perfect for the upper gears. But what's also interesting, because I had said at the beginning before I went out for these runs that, excuse me again, that the new throttle body, the 95mm, wouldn't be as good. It wasn't as good or so as the 85mm. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I couldn't see a difference. Well, looking at the PDT and the AMP, holy smokes. At the top of the gear, when you're going to be needing the most amount of air, I'm seeing a difference between amp and PDT of 40. I've never seen 40 before. It goes down to even 35, which is pretty nuts. So cool. Yeah, even there. Yeah. So, okay, it is breathing a bit better. But anyways, that's kind of that. I want to thank you guys for sticking around on the journey thus far. I was really hoping that this fall I was gonna just squeak out a 10.39. I was really shooting for that 034 contingency for the C786 Unlimited class again. I thought that would have been so cool to hit the 10.5 and then like within the month or month later, boom, hit the 10.3. But that's just not in the cards this time. That's how it goes. I'm still super pumped that I hit the 10.5 contingency. I'm beyond blown away that I'm at a 10.40 as my best at 132. So that's kind of where I want to wrap it off. I will have a few more videos coming out this fall. I've got a couple ideas, but also I've got big plans for this winter. So stay tuned. That one's coming, and I'm pretty excited about that. So like, comment, subscribe. I want to know what you guys think the next thing is, what my big plans are. And I'll screenshot them. I'll put them up in the video when I announce it. Let's see if you guys are right. So you'll earn fancy internet points for getting it right. So, but every person gets one guess, so make it count. And yeah, without further ado, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Cheers. We'll catch you in the next video.